Rockin' Racing Off-Road.
Hey everyone, welcome to High Plane Games. My name's Simon and welcome to Rock and Roll Racing Off-Road, the sequel to Rock and Roll Racing Grand Prix. And although I mostly wish everyone a great day, today is not a great day for gaming because this is painfully close to actually being a good game compared to the really dire attempt that they done with the Grand Prix game, which ended up being in the so bad it's good category. This shows flashes of them actually making a really good game, and that's what makes it really painful, the fact that they've then gone off onto like this bizarre wilderness of low budget CAC. So spot the omission straight off the bat. So you've got championship mode, which is your single player mode, time trial, which is again single player but just doing 2 laps of a collection of tracks and seeing if you beat a time. Multiplayer, which is between 2 and 4 local multiplayer, and going around in a training bowl for no particular reason. Where's the single player race? Why are there no options to just run things singularly? I don't know. It seems like a glaring omission that just spanks you in the face of people not really thinking about what they're doing in terms of an overall product or game. So when I go into Championship, the first one is the only one that you get when you initially buy this game, and I've gone through all of the cups and I've done it in 45 minutes, so it's not a long game at all. It boasts that there are 30 tracks, but really there's only between 8 or 12, and there's just slightly different variations of going forward or backward on each, and slightly different layouts in terms of terrain on the same circuit, if that makes sense. It'll make sense when you see it. Now there's 5 cars that are available in this game, and this brings me to the point of the game where they were so close to getting it right. And if anyone does buy this game after watching this, I recommend that you play almost entirely on the Highlander car, with occasionally using the Walker car or the Speedy car. And the reason for this is that each car handles very differently, and the game needs to be applauded for that. But the only one that's drivable in a somewhat sturdy and simple way is the Highlander car.
Let's go!
So we'll dive into a championship. You can only race championships, so you have to race in groups of 4 races in single player mode. There is no single race. But the Highlander car, if you played Rock and Roll Racing Grand Prix or any actually F1 Race Stars was a bit like it as well if you played that karting game. Each car had a turning circle and a tank, and the issue around these kinds of games is that yes, you are expected to brake and that's fine, but if you still can't get round the corner even when you're braking hard, that's actually not a game mechanic, that's just really poor gameplay sync up. And the game suffers from that in a slightly different way compared to how it was in Grand Prix, where the cars just turned like a tank and you had to spend loads of tokens and upgrades to kind of get it to turn vaguely okay-ish. Now there's no upgrades in this game at all, it's just 5 different types of cars that you unlock as you go through championships, and Highlander is the one that's the heaviest and also the best in terms of responsiveness and turning, so it's predictable and you know where it's going across all of the bumps on the terrain. The first car that you get is like a slower version and a little bit more likely to brake, and Speedy is like your drift car, but takes off over the bumps. The monster car and the third car, which is name I've already forgotten, are so light that as you go over bumps they take off and end up upside down, and so not only are you braking for corners but you're having to brake for bumps. And that's a real issue because it makes each track and the AI really struggle. Now you're seeing the AI, the pink car, they're having a bit of an issue and it's now going backwards around the circuit. That brings me to the second point that has not been addressed at all in this game. It appears like they've drawn the AI lines to take, like for one car specifically for certain types of circuits, and basically match up the car that you're given for the 4 circuits that you've got, and you should not mix and match, which is what we're doing here, to be fair, because I wanted to show you the Highlander car because it's the best car of the lot in terms of stability, and then I'll show you the shittiest one. But the issue, and it reminds me of when I used to make tracks on Gene Rally, is that they've drawn the AI line so that when people kind of go off it because the turning circles aren't quite right on the cars, it doesn't quite know where it needs to snap back onto the AI line again. And so it gets confused, tries to drive through barriers, goes backwards, crashes into other cars, causes all kinds of issues. And as a result, you see half the field don't make it across the line, and therefore half the field don't score points in the single player mode. And then you're left there kind of thinking, well, what? Because it takes out a lot of the challenge in most of the single player game, which you can get through in 45 minutes. And there's no real incentive to go back because there's no single player, single race mode, there's no, apart from the time trial, which is you against the clock, maybe, well, it will double the time again, I guess, because you're playing 2 laps on each track on your chosen car. Ooh, nearly. I like that the scoreboard actually works this time round because in Grand Prix there was 20 cars, but it could only show 16 of them if I remember rightly, or 10. It was all a bit weird, wasn't it? Didn't work properly. The announcer is slightly less annoying because he's further down the mix. I'm genuinely struggling to think of what other praise I can throw at it. It's such a shame because it's so close to Iron Man Off-Road that it makes me cry on the inside. Let's take a look at the buggy.
Let's go.
Because it's the one that kind of flies around the most, and it's not so bad around the first track, to be fair, because there's not tons of bumps in it.
1, go.
That's worthwhile saying. There is a slipstream in this game. There we go. I love that you get just like pounded by the AI car. You can't get out of it. I don't know why there's a slipstream in this game because it doesn't belong here in this type of environment. It really confuses me that it's there. Especially when there's no turbos or nitros if you're thinking of Iron Man Off-Road, which was really why I bought this game. I was immediately stupidly suckered into thinking, oh, it can't be that bad. I love Super Sprint, I love Iron Man Off-Road. They couldn't have screwed it up that bad, could they? But yeah. Not bad. Now this will be the best race that the buggies will have because it's the but yeah, when we get to the next one, I think it will start to go quite down. The other thing I'd say as well is that tyres seem to have properties of their own. So some tyres you can hit and they'll just bounce across the track. Other tyres you'll hit and they don't go anywhere and you get stuck. Also, I might just demonstrate it here actually, is, to the end of the race, is when you spin, the spin turn takes forever for you. It's like you're finding neutral and then restarting your engine and getting going again. And so it takes forever for the actual spin turn to work. And for you to get started again. And AI drivers don't seem to do that. What AI drivers do seem to do though, is just stop randomly in the middle of a race when they've been hit. As if like there's an internal brain that's trying to reset everything. There we go. But this is what they mean by 30 tracks, is that this is included as a new track because they've stuck different flags on it and we're going the other way. And that's a shame. I really think there should be something... A track editor would work really, really well for this game to give it longevity, in my opinion. Along with options to actually change how long a race should be. If you want AI in the multiplayer, if you want to mix and match cars in the multiplayer and give handicaps, there's just a complete lack of features and options that it's impossible to recommend it unless it's like an extreme sale and you're feeling really nostalgic and are desperate for another so bad it's good multiplayer racer. It's such a shame because actually with the Highlander car, and this car's actually I'm getting more used to it. I think I was playing this on other tracks as opposed to the ones that it initially pairs it with, and that's why it's flying around everywhere like that. It's just such a missed opportunity. It makes me so frustrated. So, if you saw this game and thought, oh, this is great, but you're not going to get it after this review, I thoroughly recommend the free PC game Gene Rally. It's still second to none for me. It's got a track editor, you design its AI lines, it's got various different mods and loads of people still play it. You can do local multiplayer on that, but it's equally as fun to join online leagues and just... There we go, this is where it started. Great. So you have to like take the finger off the crotch. But yeah, Gene Rally, go grab that. So much better. And it's free. There was a Kickstarter for Gene Rally 2. It was not successful for some unbeknown reason. But they are still continuing development with it. It's just exceptionally slow. And that was an example of me trying to get restarted and you saw the massive delay that it's got. And that's just all the cars getting stuck because it can't deal with anything. Frustration. So, I hope that was an informative review of why probably to not buy this game. If you did get it and you've got a comment on this game, please do pop that below. And as always, I have no objections to you liking and subscribing and saying oh I'll too. And if you're feeling particularly generous, I also run a Patreon because it's not just this YouTube channel that I run. There'll be a website for this games coming very soon at the beginning of 2017. And I also run other projects for music and film and very shortly radio too. Take care all. Bye for now. Ooh, bang. Oh, I can't do this game, you know. Stop!